Welcome to the Vital Living Forum, Life Stories of Central Florida Elders. Central Florida is well known as home to Disney World and other tourist attractions. And joining us to share his story on how it happened is former Osceola County Commissioner and real estate broker, Chester Barber. Welcome, Chester.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Osceola County, went to school in St. Cloud. I went to 1 year in college in Gainesville. The war came. I joined the service. We went through the war, and I came back here to try to make a living, and it was difficult. Went to Atlanta, Georgia, and went in the bottled gas business with my brother. Moved back down here in the early 60s. And have lived here ever since, other than places of visiting my wife and I, yeah.
Well, we're going to come back to some of the things that you mentioned, but I know that your family is one of the pioneer families in Osceola County. And as a native of Kissimmee, what was it like to grow up there? And tell me something about your family history.
It varied in many ways. We were not wealthy people at all. My mother and father worked very hard to support 4 boys and get them an education and teach them the things that they felt like were important to men as they went through life. I had a hard time with the school problems because I wasn't too interested in it. I got through school by playing football, and there was only 12 or 14 of us big enough to play football for St. Cloud, so they got me through school, and I've paid for it ever since. I understand the importance of education now. After going to Gainesville and going into the war, why, that's another story we'll get to later, huh?
Well, I would like for you to tell me about your military enlistment and about when you joined the military and about your experiences.
Sure. My brother was high in the draft when they first opened the draft. I had just finished the first semester of college at Gainesville. I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing there. And I came home and told him that I would not go back to school. And he said, well, come on and join the service with me. He was being drafted. And rather than be drafted, why, we volunteered, and I went to MacDill Field when they were first opening that up. I got into flying school. We left Orlando in 1941 at December the 20th, I believe. Rode a bus Saturday night, all day Sunday night, and into Monday to Muskogee, Oklahoma. And my education started then. I went through flying school and then on ultimately and through the war. All 4 of us, my 3 brothers and myself, we all got through the war and came back home and went our various ways.
Well, I'm glad you did come back home.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you decided to serve your community by becoming an Osceola County Commissioner. And when I think of Kissimmee, I do think of Walt Disney World. And I know you were a commissioner from 62 to 70 when the plans, the vision for Walt Disney World was being unveiled. Tell me something about your involvement with that.
The county commissioners for both Osceola and Orange County were involved, and Disney, because of his experiences in California, felt like he had to have a certain amount of control of the laws, tax laws even, that affected his operation there, and he wanted to get that all solved before he started operation. So he worked with both of the counties and with the legislatures from the counties to get it done. We had the pleasure and the honor of meeting with him 2 or 3 times, personally and being briefed on what his plans were. Disney flew us to Anaheim, California. He made arrangements for us to meet the commissioners out there and discuss with them the problems they were having with the growth of Disney. Walt Disney did everything he could to teach the people of Osceola and Orange County Commission what the problems were going to be that they would face. He did everything he could to put us in a position of protecting our country, our people here, and preparing them for the growth. None of us believed the growth that we've had, and we did the best that we could. There's been a lot of mistakes made, but there were also a lot of good work put into it.
So then you actually met Walt Disney.
Yes, we met with Mr. Disney 2 or 3 times. In Anaheim, we met with him in his office, personal office, 5 of us, and sat down and talked for 30 or 40 minutes. He was the most gracious person, highly intelligent person, and probably one of the nicest people I ever met.
How well received was his vision, and what information you brought back to Osceola County?
It wasn't all that well received by everybody. There was a lot of people who really didn't believe it would ever happen to begin with. And a lot of people that wondered if it did happen, what were the changes going to be and how would they affect us? It was a mixed bag, really.
Well, there's no question that this area of Central Florida has become a tourist destination. And what is your feeling now about the impact that it has had on this area?
I suppose, well, my personal feeling is that it destroyed a land that I loved very much in the condition that it was in as a child. And that's human nature. That don't mean that I dislike Disney. It just means that it changed things. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure I like the way they are now as compared to the way they was then. But I'm an old man, and I don't need a job, and I don't need to make money and all of the other advantages. I think on the whole, he's been very good to Central Florida. Mm-hmm. Jobs were scarce in Central Florida when Disney first came here. They were very scarce. People can get work now, and they can make money. So they got to be grateful to Walt Disney for doing that.
Now, going back to your family, your pioneering family, were they involved with livestock? Was that, or were they involved with citrus, your ancestors settling in Osceola County?
They were involved with both, livestock primarily, mm-hmm. according to the family history I get, and I can prove the word. But they started up in Baker County, just south of the Okanokie Swamp, and they worked cattle down all the way to Okeechobee.
Now, were you involved with cattle or citrus?
I had a citrus grove down in Kissimmee Park, part of Osceola County. My mother and father always had a few head of cattle, 50 or 60 head of cattle. Mm-hmm. It was a way of life for us, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What made you decide to run to be a county commissioner in Osceola County?
Primarily because I needed a job at that time.
That's a very good reason.
I enjoyed serving the public. You don't get a whole lot of appreciation from it, and you make mistakes and you do things you wish you hadn't done or said things. But there's a lot of pleasure comes from serving your fellow man, really. I think the good Lord expects you to do some of that.
Now, you have the advantage of many years of life experience. And what are some of the life lessons or thoughts that you would like to communicate to younger generations?
I've thought some about that. And in my own particular case, I'm using myself as an example. I think being raised by God-fearing parents and being taught principles and morals that you can live by, that come from the Bible, And then the next most important thing is finding a mate that has the same principles and morals you have, that wants to be successful as a family. Both people have to work awful hard at it. It isn't an easy job, but it's a rewarding job and one of the greatest in the world.
I want to thank you for making the time to be with us today and sharing this little snippet of Central Florida history, because it gives a different perspective from someone who has seen the transition through the years. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, certainly we've seen from Chester that every life has a story, and we want you to keep writing yours. We'll see you the next time.